All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to today's joint seminar co-hosted by Airbridge, Adapty, and Phiture on app growth strategies, unleashing subscription success. I am Sumin Park, Corporate Strategy Manager at Airbridge, and I will be your humble moderator for today. We have prepared for you three very exciting presentations. Those are we will be led by Roy from Airbridge, who will be speaking on proven UA strategies in the SKAN Network 4.0 era. And he will be followed by Ines from Phiture, and she will be discussing optimization for onboarding procedures. Lastly, we will have Mike from Adapty, who will be speaking on growth hacks for subscription apps. And once those are over, we hope you will continue to stay with us as we've organized a fireside chat for you, bringing together all three of these above speakers in conversation about their talks. All right, so that is it from me for now. And without further ado, Roy, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Sumin.
All right.
Great.
Take it away, please.
It's awesome. Yeah. So thanks everyone for joining this session today. I'm Roy. I'm CEO of Airbridge. So today, the topic that I would like to share with you is proven UA strategies for subscription apps in the SKAN 4.0 era. So maybe before delving into the actual contents, I would like to just briefly introduce myself and the company. So I'm the founder and a CEO of Airbridge. I have an engineering background. And also Airbridge is a MMP, mobile measurement partner. We're one of the 6 partners of Meta, Google in the world. And then we not only just do the mobile attribution, but we also do unified attribution for both web and app. We have a tracking links and deep links, and we do provide the unified measurement stacks to more than 300 businesses in the world. So today, I want to actually talk about the direct impact of paid ads. So I actually borrowed a quote from our friend Phiture. So the Phiture team says that among Phiture's clients, 50 to 80% of revenues and subscriptions come from onboarding within the first 1 hour of use. So we sometimes think that subscription apps are complicated. It takes people to, convert from, free users to free trials to paid subscriptions. But in reality, we can find out that subscription apps are also having a lot of these direct response style characteristics. And then the direct response nature of these apps amplifies the effect of well-targeted advertising. So the first hour of use is the critical period where effective advertising can lead to immediate revenue. So maybe the first tip in terms of UA of subscription apps that I want to share with you today is to really optimize your pricing first to scale out UA. So sometimes we think that pricing and UA are two separate things. But actually, if we have the higher LTV, then the higher LTV allows greater flexibility in CAC, allowing room for more ad spend leading to higher volume of installs. So here's an example right here. We have 3 tiers of subscription plans, weekly, monthly, and annual. And then suppose we have 100% each free trial to paid conversion rate for these 2 options and 45% for annual plan, because we actually do not let people to the free trial for these 2 plans. And if we have these numbers simulated, then eventually we will have the realized LTV. So 5.17 USD per weekly, 12 USD for monthly, and 17.96 realized LTV for annual subscribers. So this means if we can obtain more annual subscribers, then we will be able to spend more on the UA, which eventually leads to better optimization, better performance across the board. So definitely optimizing the pricing first to scale the UA is the very first tip that I want to share with you. And then actually the good friend of mine, Steve from App Masters, he actually gave us a great example how we can optimize the pricing. So even without expanding our budget, he successfully led these optimization cases. So one of the apps, for example, really increased their earnings from 250 USD to 1,000 USD a month. So MRR kind of quadrupled. And then he did it with just 15 downloads per day. So this is a great example that we can focus and really make some advancements in terms of our pricing before we jump into the UA. And the second tip that I want to give out to you, especially this is related to SKAN, is to really consolidate your iOS campaigns and focus your budget on select campaigns to meet SKAN privacy threshold. So I know that many of you must be familiar with the privacy threshold, but please allow me to just quickly explain to you what it is. So under SKAN 3.0, empirically, it is known that 10 to 20 installs within the last 24 hours per campaign is really considered the privacy threshold. So if you meet the privacy threshold, you will get the conversion value. If you don't meet the privacy threshold, you will not get the conversion value, which kind of makes you underutilize the information for your campaign optimization. So there are some official guidelines that are given by some of the major ad platforms like Meta, Snap, Google, Unity, and TikTok, and you can clearly see that they recommend actually running less than 8 campaigns and normally at least above 30 installs per day per campaign in order for you to safely meet the privacy threshold. So privacy threshold, this concept is only confined to SKAN 3.0. And what happens to SKAN 4.0 is that we have a similar concept called crowd anonymity. And then if I am to actually simplify the things, actually privacy threshold is almost equal to crowd anonymity tier 2 equal to 2 and above under SKAN 4.0. So while SKAN 3.0's privacy threshold only pertain to the conversion value, actually when you see this table on the left-hand side, you will recognize that SKAN 4.0's crowd anonymity has deeper impact on multiple columns, and there is tier 1 that did not exist under SKAN 3.0. So actually what I wanted to convey here is that it's really important for you to not only just meet the privacy threshold under SKAN 3.0, but also try to achieve as much as you can to reach the crowd anonymity tier 2 and above, because if you do that, you will be able to receive the fine-grained value for the first postback, and then it is really important for your optimization. And then the third tip that I want to share with you is to capture early conversions for SKAN. So why is it important? So most of these MMPs maintain a 24-hour attribution window under 3.0 and the 48-hour window under SKAN 4.0. So this means any events that are happening after 24-hour or 48-hour window, you cannot actually reflect them to your SKAN postback. Hence, capturing early events that are happening within the 24-hour install time to event time is really crucial. And also on top of that, you can utilize SKAN 4.0's lock feature to accelerate the receipt of the first SKAN postback, and then definitely capturing these early conversions will help you get the most out of the SKAN postback information, and this is really crucial. And one of the examples that I can give out to you is, for example, like some of these early conversions like complete onboarding, view paywall, sign up, and start free trials can be included in your conversion value settings. Whereas if there's a 3-day of free trial, then that means the actual purchase will happen after the 3 days, and that you cannot wait because the SKAN postback should be collected within 24-hour window. And then in this case, you will be able to include all of these early events to really capture them all for your information. And another interesting view that I want to give out to you today is how to really set up the value ranges. So interesting thing about subscription apps that they only have a limited number of pricing plans. So normally we will see weekly plans, monthly plans, or annual plans or biannual plans. And that means you will be able to calculate the realized LTV for each one of these pricing tiers. And then you can actually set up the value range that corresponds to each one of these pricing tiers. And not just the pricing tiers, but the realized LTV for each one of these tiers. So one of the interesting facts that you really want to keep in mind is that actually many of these ad platforms use the median value when they actually interpret the SKAN conversion value. For example, if the conversion value range is $0 to $11, then most of these ad platforms will just interpret it into 5.5 or $6 because that's the median value. So if you can calculate the realized LTV per each pricing plan, then you can set the value range to really make it correspondent to each one of these expected LTV. And then you specifically can use this median value to match each one of these respective realized LTV. So this is actually a very recommended action item that you can take to really fully leverage the first postback and then really send the right information, because you can only receive the fine-grained postback one time. And maybe the tip 4 is a very simple tip. So sometimes people actually, when they actually come up with the ATT pop-up, ATT prompt is displayed in the middle of the user journey. Whereas what I recommend is actually displaying the ATT prompt right after install or during the initial onboarding flow. So one of the benefits that why you should do it is because sometimes when you send the install event, it would be great if you can actually attach the advertising ID to this install event. But if you do not actually display the ATT prompt in the onboarding time, then you will not be able to collect the ad ID, which means your install event will be sent to the advertising server without the advertising ID. And then another quick tip that you can take from here is that you should be deferring the sending of the install event, because most of the MMP SDKs will just send the install event immediately after they collect it. But for example, in Airbridge, we do have the deferment option that you can utilize to defer the event sending for 30 seconds to 60 seconds. And then during this time, you'll be able to collect the ad ID, attach the ad ID to the install event, and that will greatly help you enhance the performance. Last tip of the day is to personalize UA native from start to the end with attribution result. So I always believe that these 4 components can be all aligned to fully help you personalize the things: creative, CPP and CSLs, deferred deep linking, and attribution result for activation. So specifically, I want to actually emphasize the role of CPP and CSLs because they're really becoming a very useful mechanism in terms of increasing the conversion rate and CTR for your users. So these are the 5 tips that I covered today. So optimize pricing first to scale UA, consolidate iOS campaigns to meet the privacy threshold, capture early conversions for SKAN, defer sending install events for 30 to 60 seconds to get the ad ID, and lastly, personalize UA narrative. So these tips combined, I'm pretty sure that these can help you greatly increase the CVR and CTR of your iOS SKAN campaigns.
All right, thank you, Roy. Next up, we have Ines from Phiture, who will be discussing some onboarding optimization. Ines, are you ready to take the floor?
Yes, I should be.
All right, then you. All right, awesome. Then please take it away.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm Ines. I'm a senior growth consultant at Phiture. Phiture is a mobile growth agency, and I'm specifically working with retention and subscription optimization projects. So really excited to be here with you today talking about onboarding optimization tactics. I want to start with the subscription lifecycle, and I want to focus on 2 key segments of users here: the potential subscribers and the newly acquired subscribers. First of all, you would need to onboard and activate potential subscribers onto your product and make sure they understand the value proposition of your free product before they're ready to commit to a subscription and before they're ready to commit to keep coming back and paying. You might want to create some strategic friction here in the experience so that these users really feel the need that premium will solve their problems. Once potential subscribers convert into new subscribers, you will need to onboard and activate them again onto the premium experience, and you will need to ensure they understand how to make use of the new features that just became available to them. And also you need to make them or help them establish a habit around using the premium product, and again, keep them coming back and keep them paying. The way we typically think, or most people typically think about onboarding, is in product onboarding, but at Phiture, we actually really like to think that onboarding starts with acquisition. And this actually taps into what Roy was just saying. Onboarding is the first direct interaction of a user with your app and is often your single chance to showcase value and increase the odds of that user coming back to the product. So it's really crucial to set a clear expectation from the very beginning and from the very touch point. We see a lot of onboarding problems come from sort of misalignment between the acquisition stage and the in-product experience, where perhaps user might create an expectation when they are in the App Store, and then when they open the app for the first time, they realize, well, this is actually not the kind of product I was hoping to get. So for us as growth teams, it's really important to ensure there's continuity from acquisition to in-product experience. And I would really highlight the word continuity here. As you can see in the examples here, apps like Happen, Todoist, and Duolingo are doing this really well. Their onboarding screen basically restates the value proposition of the app, and it kind of creates a very smooth connection between what the user saw in the App Store and what they get once they download the app. I really want to stress how critical and effective onboarding is at ensuring long-term retention, engagement, and revenue, because users who don't onboard properly don't activate, and if they don't activate, they end up churning. And from what we see, it's actually not uncommon to lose up to 80% of new users during the first few days after they're acquired. You'll also find similar statistics in the industry in general, but this means onboarding is really our best chance to reach 100% of your acquired user base. The other interesting insight is that we know the majority of subscriptions happens on day 0, and in fact they happen just a few hours after the user opens the app for the first time. So these are just some of the reasons why it's so key to invest the time into optimizing onboarding. Activation could be defined as the moment a user experiences the value of a product for the first time, and we also often call this the aha moment in product. At Phiture, we believe that having properly defined activation and retention metrics goes a really long way into getting apps on the right track and ensuring that whole growth teams create a really strong foundation for all the onboarding and engagement efforts they are about to create. So to define activation metric, we could say it's the relative take-up of an action that enables a user to experience the core value proposition of the app. And the retention metric would be the habit forming action that allows the user to create a habit around using the app over the long run. So if we think of an example of a photo editing app, we could say the activation metric is the percentage of users uploading a photo, and the retention metric would be the percentage of users editing that photo and exporting it. But another thing we recommend is to do this exercise for both your free product and your premium product if you have the two of them, because your goals are going to be different in both. And as I said in the beginning, because you need to re-onboard users once they convert to a subscription, it's important to have different goals in mind so you can properly optimize that premium onboarding experience. So sticking with the same example, let's say a subscription would allow the user to unlock video editing capability. So the activation metric would be uploading a video, and the retention metric would be exporting an edited video. So having the basics in place and understanding how to have a strong foundation to start, the question that remains is really, okay, how can we then create an effective user onboarding and guide users through the premium journey? I'm going to go over some tips now. The first one, as I mentioned at the start, is that it's key to restate the value proposition once users get into your app. So rather than just jumping straight to feature onboarding, really take the time to explain the user what they will gain from the app, and also assure them that they're in the right place to solve their problems or accomplish what is it that they need. Headspace here does this really well. They have a simple swipe screen where they start by resurfacing the value proposition, and they address different use cases for the app. They also include some science-backed facts on how users will increase their happiness in just 10 days. And they also emphasize the powerful community the user is about to join. Only after that, they will actually start trying to get the user on a premium plan or trying to introduce content to the user. Secondly, guide users and highlight the shortest path to activation using CRM. You can use a mix of push notifications, in-app messages, emails, and you can guide the users to the right places in the premium experience. This is especially helpful when, for example, a user subscribes to your premium experience and there are new features they need to discover. So you can very quickly direct them to the right features. So using CRM to prompt users to perform core actions or UX nudges to highlight the shortest path are really good practices at this point, and will really get you, help you get your users hooked as early as possible. This one kind of complements the previous one. So emails are also a great channel to educate the users on the core premium value of your product and get them started on the new features. Headspace and Blanta here, they have this Welcome to Premium email series where they will list the new features the user just got access to, explain them, explain what problems they solve, and include an easy shortcut for the user to try them out. And at Phiture, we're also super fans of surveys, in-app surveys. This really helps our clients continuously deliver value and a personalized experience to their customers. You can basically use these surveys to collect data for segmentation or for understanding use cases, and then you can target users accordingly. One really good thing about this is that it doesn't necessarily require complicated engineering resources or a lot of dependency with the development team, because if you would custom code in-app messages, you could actually deploy these directly through your CRM tool. So there opens up a lot of room for the CRM team to experiment around this. And another good example of a survey here is the one we ran with Fishbrain, where we would basically ask the user, what are you here for? We would understand what their use case is, and we would directly point them to relevant content in the app. So if they tell me they're here to discover new places to fish, I will send them to the fishing spots and the community of anglers around them. And as you see there, we can store the responses in the CRM tool as custom attributes, and then you can create specific campaigns for each of the use cases and retarget the users later. Or you can also just export the data and analyze it later for product insights. Another one we love, using checklists to make sure users discover features and try them out. This is really great to use during the activation phase, and we typically see a lot of success with this kind of tactic. It leverages motivational theory, and it creates sort of an artificial goal for the user. They will basically feel drawn at completing all these tasks, and almost without realizing they're discovering all the key stuff in the product, and they are activating on what is most important. Before I go, I wanted to leave a note here on conversion rate optimization, because obviously for subscription apps, one of the things we need to do is optimizing the paywall. Mike will spend a lot of time talking about that, but I just wanted to say, don't miss your chance to leverage onboarding to boost paywall visibility and increase education around your premium products. Some things you can do here are tracking your install to paywall visibility rate. As I said in the beginning, we know that most subscriptions happen on day 0. So you really want to make sure all of your new users are being exposed to the paywall and to the premium offering. Obviously, test this out, but keeping track of this rate is just a good thing for your growth team to know how to optimize things further. And then the other thing would be optimizing paywall placement. For some clients, we see that adding a paywall both at the beginning and the end of the onboarding works pretty well, but obviously, again, this needs to be tested, and different placements will work better for different products. And lastly, some marketers in the industry are also recommending to show the paywall on every app open after onboarding. For this one, I would say be extremely careful and really test this out, because it can either go really well or just become really intrusive for the user, and we don't want this to harm your retention rates. And that's about it for my side. Thanks so much for listening. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions if you have them, or just connect to me through LinkedIn, and I'll pass it on.
Great. Thanks so much, Ines. Next up, we've got Mike, who will be sharing with us some of his growth hacks. Mike, you've got it.
Thank you, Simin. Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Gutierrez, and I'm the partner manager here at Adapty. What Adapty is basically empowers mobile app developers with innovative solutions to optimize their subscription monetization strategies, with a focus on enhancing their engagement, improving revenue streams, and navigating evolving industry landscapes. Adapty offers a comprehensive platform for achieving subscription app success. I'll be talking about growth hacks for subscription apps. We'll be diving into some powerful strategies and tactics that can supercharge your apps and growth success in this competitive world of subscription-based apps. Talking about pricing, basically to succeed in working with pricing for your app, some basic strategies are researching those competitors, right? So understanding the market is vital. Analyzing competitor pricing strategies provides insights into market trends and helps set competitive prices, positioning your app effectively to attract potential customers. In-app purchase. Strategically boost your app's revenue by offering in-app purchases, provide one-time purchases or additional features that users can unlock through in-app subscriptions that creates value and encourages user engagement. And then free trial periods. Showcase your app's value by implementing free trial periods, allowing users to experience your app before subscribing is powerful in attracting new users and encouraging subscriptions. On the advanced strategy side, testing and optimizing, continually experiment with pricing models and subscription plans, gather user feedback and analyze behavior to optimize your pricing strategy. This iterative approach helps find the most effective pricing structure. For tiered plans, offer diverse subscription tiers with varying features to cater to different user needs. Providing users with more choices and flexibility increases conversion rates. This ties into the customer value retention, which we focus on delivering exceptional value to your users. Providing a unique and satisfying experience that justifies your pricing is key to boosting that customer retention. And then monitor market changes. So the app market is always changing. Staying updated on industry trends, competitive moves, and user preferences is very crucial. This way we can adapt our pricing strategy to remain competitive and retain our market position. Working with pricing is a critical aspect of app success. By conducting thorough research on competitors, utilizing those in-app purchases, and offering free trial periods, we can continue to boost our revenue and encourage subscriptions. Moreover, implementing those event strategies like testing and optimizing those pricing models, offer tiered plans, and focusing on customer value and retention will further enhance that app's performance and long-term growth. Again, staying updated on those market changes will ensure we remain competitive and continue to succeed in the ever-evolving app landscape, which I'll definitely get into later. But together, these strategies will pave the way for the app success and prosperity. For this slide, the tuning and paywalls for onboarding slide, this is aimed at optimizing user onboarding and maximizing those conversions through effective paywall implementation. So with the basic strategies, understand your users. Gathering those insights on those user preferences and behavior is crucial. By understanding your users' needs, you can tailor the onboarding process to meet their expectations, creating a seamless and satisfying experience. Simplicity. So keep the onboarding process concise and user-friendly. Avoid overwhelming users with unnecessary information. A straight onboarding process flow ensures higher user retention and engagement. And that value proposition, showcase your app's value right from the start. Clearly communicate those benefits and unique features to entice users to subscribe and stay engaged. And then for the gradual engagement part, we introduce payroll strategically after users have experienced the app benefits. Gradual engagement builds trust and increases the likelihood of users converting into paying subscribers. So moving on to the advanced strategies, the A/B testing, experiment with different paywall designs, products, and prices through that A/B testing. This data-driven approach allows you to identify the most effective paywall strategy that maximizes those conversions. Personalization, tailor those paywall messages based on user segments. Personalized messaging resonates better with users and increases those chances of them accepting your offers. And data analysis, analyze those key metrics related to paywall performance and user behavior. Data-driven insights enable you to fine-tune your paywall strategy, leading to the improved user experience. And then for the trends, again, stay informed about the latest popular solutions in the market. Subscribing to Adapty's paywall newsletter will keep you updated on those industry trends and best practices. And by mimicking all these strategies and tuning your paywalls while optimizing the onboarding experience, you'll create a seamless journey for your users that drive higher subscription conversions. Providing those users with a clear value proposition and personalized experience will boost the engagement and encourage long-term loyalty for your app. And again, remember, every interaction counts, so let's make every touch point count towards your app success. And so for analyzing the cohorts piece, basically it's a crucial aspect of understanding your user behavior and optimizing that app performance. Cohort analysis allows us to group users based on specific attributes or actions, providing valuable insights into their user engagement and retention patterns. On the basic strategy side, define the cohorts for insights. Segment users based on key attributes or actions, such as sign-up date, subscription type, or user behavior. Cohort analysis enables us to study user groups and more effectively identify those trends. And time segmentation for deeper understanding. So analyzing the cohorts over specific time periods to understand how user behavior evolves over time. Time-based insights help us tailor those strategies for different stages of the user engagement. Measure retention for long-term success. So track your user retention rates over time to gauge the effectiveness of our user engagement and retention efforts. Higher retention rates indicate satisfied users and a strong app ecosystem. On the advanced strategy side, identifying trends for better decision-making. Observe user behavior patterns within cohorts to uncover trends and preferences. These insights inform us of user preferences, pain points, and areas for improvement, right? So that's the biggest thing we want to do, is continue to improve our app. Optimize the strategies for user engagement. Again, utilize the cohort analysis to optimize user engagement and retention efforts. By understanding what works best for each group, we can design personalized experiences that drive user satisfaction, and loyalty. And then the iterative analysis approach for continuous improvement. Again, it's all about improving your app. Cohort analysis is an ongoing process, continually assess cohort performance and refine strategies based on that real-time data to drive app growth and long-term success. And this ties into utilize predictions for informed planning. So basically balancing the unit economy and planning future strategies requires accurate data sets and tested prediction models. Predictive analysis allows us to make informed decisions and maximize that ROI. Again, cohort analysis is a powerful tool for understanding user behavior and optimizing app performance. By defining cohorts and analyzing user trends and using that data-driven insights, we can create a tailored user experience and drive engagement and retention. With Adapty's cohort analysis, you get to separate a separate tool for lifetime value and revenue predictions, looking ahead 3, 6, 9, and 12-month periods for your app. Utilizing this predictive power, we can make informed decisions and set course for that long-term app success that I keep talking about. And that ties right into the grow your lifetime value and know it, with essential strategies to optimize your user onboarding experience and maximize conversions through the effective paywall implementation. For basic strategies, data collection and usage, the foundation of growing that lifetime value starts with data collection. Gathering user data on revenue retention and acquisition allows us to calculate the ROI. Within Adapty's comprehensive tools, we can effectively calculate and utilize this valuable data and make informed decisions about the app's growth. Calculating that lifetime value is a crucial step in understanding the customer spending habits over their app lifetime. Adapty provides an intuitive lifetime value chart that empowers us to analyze lifetime value trends and make informed decisions. For customer loyalty, encouraging customer loyalty is a powerful strategy to increase that lifetime value. So by fostering repeat purchases and building strong relationships with our users, we can boost that lifetime value. And the advanced strategy side, segment users based on their lifetime value allows us to identify the high value segments that contribute significantly to our revenue. Understanding those segments help us tailor our marketing efforts and focus on acquiring users with higher lifetime value potential. To maximize LTV on the optimized acquisition side, we need to focus on acquiring users with high potential for long-term engagement and spending. By optimizing our user acquisition strategies based on lifetime value data, we can attract valuable customers who drive sustainable revenue growth. Personalizing that engagement is key to boosting user retention and increasing that lifetime value. Tailoring our engagement strategies to meet individual users' preferences can lead to higher customer satisfaction and loyalty. And monitoring those changes and monitoring lifetime value trends is essential for understanding the impact our strategies on app profitability. Adapty's insightful reports enable us to keep that close eye on the changes on the LTV, empowering us to make data-driven decisions and adjust our approaches accordingly. Right, so by incorporating these strategies and leveraging Adapty's powerful features, you'll be on your way to boosting your app's lifetime value and achieving long-term success. Cohort analysis is a powerful tool for understanding user behavior and optimizing app's performance. By defining those cohorts, again, you can really establish that lifetime value. And then the final segment that I'll be talking about is be open. We'll be exploring the essential strategies to succeed and thrive in the competitive mobile app landscape by being open to collaboration, innovation, and that community engagement, right? So for the basic strategies, engage actively. Participate in the industry events, forums, and social media platforms to connect with peers and share those insights. Networking within the industry allows you to stay updated on the latest trends and best practices. Seeking feedback. So you can embrace that feedback from users and peers with an open mind. Feedback is a valuable strategy for improving your app and services, leading to that better user experience and increased customer satisfaction. Offer value. So establish credibility and trust by providing helpful content, tips, and resources to your audience. Offering value through the informative and valuable content positions you as an authority is your niche. And then that all ties into this, the staying updated piece, where you keep abreast of the industry trends, technology advancements, and user preferences. Staying informed helps you adapt your strategies to meet ever-evolving needs of your users. And then for the advanced strategies piece, be transparent. Share your successes, challenges, and innovations within that community. Being open and transparent fosters trust and authenticity, and it allows you to learn from others' experiences. For being supportive, encourage the support of others in the community. By offering assistance and sharing knowledge, you can contribute positively to the growth and success of the community as a whole, right? We're all in this together. Adapt and innovate. Embrace change and continuously innovate to stay ahead in the dynamic mobile landscape. And being open to new ideas and approaches ensures that your app remains competitive and relevant. And of course, the last one is collaborate. Seek opportunities to collaborate with other businesses, developers, influencers, partners. Collaborating partnerships can lead to mutual growth, expanded reach, and innovative solutions. So by incorporating these be open strategies into your app development and market approach, you can foster a thriving and engaged community around your whole app. Embrace that openness and transparency to unlock that new opportunity, success, and again, achieve that long-term growth. And that is basically it for me. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you gain the valuable knowledge and actionable strategies to optimize your app's performance. And at Adapty, we're committed to empowering your app's growth and helping you achieve business goals. Our powerful suite of tools and data-driven insights can support your app's journey from inception to expansion. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. That brings us to our fireside chat part of today's webinar. So I want to start us off with sort of a generic question that sort of all of us can answer from different perspectives. We've all spoken a lot about growth today, but mobile marketers, especially when it comes to mobile marketers for subscription apps, have to pay attention not just to user acquisition numbers, but they also have to think about retention rates and the value of each acquired user. So from each of your areas of expertise as an MMP, a growth and retention agency, and as a paywall optimizer, how do you think apps can really strike that right balance between UA, LTV, and retention? Roy, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Sumin. Is a great question. So I definitely have to mention that user acquisition, lifetime value, and retention, three of these components are interconnected aspects of mobile marketing for subscription apps. So you cannot miss any one of them. But specifically regarding UA strategy, it's beneficial to conceptualize it as a spectrum with distinct sub-strategies, each tailored to specific objectives. So for example, a useful framework to employ here is TOFU, MOFU, and LOFU approach. So TOFU, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel approach. So suppose you're having this UA strategy split into these three objectives, TOFU, MOFU, and LOFU, and maybe you spend 70% of your budget on TOFU, and that means focusing on optimizing the cost per install to attract new users, so 70%. So 20% budget may go to MOFU, and you may use some of the campaigns to boost free trial conversions, driving users to commit to free trials. And maybe the rest, 10%, can go to targeting those existing or lapsed users through remarketing or retargeting campaigns. So that means UA itself, when it comes to UA, you don't really have to think about the new user acquisition only, but you can definitely spread out your budget to many different objectives and really have respective strategies and campaign types tailored to each one of these sub-strategies that can definitely help you balance these aspects to ensure a steady user flow and maybe maximize the value and retain the loyal customers as well.
That makes a lot of sense. Ines, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I'm going to take a bit of a different perspective here. I think achieving acquisition at high value, high quality, and low cost is really hard to achieve. And most growth teams will have to make a decision on what they're willing to sacrifice. Is it cost or is it quality? One thing we talk about a lot at Phiture, and I see it's very relevant for a lot of growth teams, is talking about alignment, because different functions of growth must be clear and aligned on what the overall growth goals of the company are, instead of just pursuing their own department goals and almost competing against each other. So it's not so uncommon to see companies where these different growth functions are heavily misaligned or completely siloed from each other, not really communicating so much. And what they will want to do is acquire cheap users for high revenue, which is not really realistic, as we know. So one team is going to be pushing for one thing, the other team is going to be pushing for other, and at the end of the day, they're fighting each other. To enable these different functions to be better aligned, three things I would say from what I see are critical is having a shared taxonomy, so everyone is talking about the same thing, and also have streamlined and granular reporting, so everyone is looking at the same numbers and same data, right? And then ensuring these teams are often syncing with each other, regular meetings. It doesn't need to be weekly, but it needs to be regular enough so they know what each other's roadmaps are and make sure they're checking on progress towards the goals. Yeah, besides alignment, I would also say there's different tactics and best practices that growth teams could follow to strike this balance between LTV, UA, retention. Things like using precision targeting for advanced segmentation or leveraging different channels to maximize reach. Making sure there's a feedback loop between acquisition and retention. So it kind of goes back to those regular syncs I was just saying. And then using CRM to help with in-product personalization, conversion rate optimization, and also cross and upselling initiatives, because if you do more on the product side, you can really compensate a higher cost of acquisition, higher CAC, for also a higher LTV, right? So at the end of the day, even if it means you need to acquire users for higher price points, you could compensate that then in the products with LTV.
Cool, makes a lot of sense. And I would highly agree that internal alignment is crucial. Mike, what do you have to say about this as a paywall optimizer?
Yeah, I mean, balancing user acquisition, lifetime value, and retention is indeed that pivotal challenge for subscription app marketers, right? Adapty steps in as that solutions provider to specializing in that paywall optimization and user engagement enhancement, right? So we collaborate closely with MMPs and growth retention agencies to ensure that app developers can fine-tune those paywall strategies and engage users effectively and maximize that LTV, right? Our focus on optimizing the paywall experience aligns with the broader objective of striking the right equilibrium between the user acquisition, lifetime value, and the retention, right? So it's all about creating that synergy that empowers apps to not only attract high value users, but also retain them over time, ultimately thriving in the dynamic subscription app ecosystem.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for all of you, all of your great answers. I want to bring sort of the focus back a little bit to Roy's point in a session about how marketers really can take advantage of SKAD Network 4.0 to track the performance of their UA marketing campaigns. So Ines and Mike, how are you guys advising your clients when it comes to adapting to the SKAD network? Ines, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, at Phiture, our clients are typically working with MMPs, mobile measurement partners, for attribution. It's pretty rare that we see clients with in-house solutions for attribution. So we're often just advising them on probabilistic attribution models or the best performance metrics for their case that go beyond just the last click attribution. And also clients rely a lot on us for continuous education and staying on top of updates about Apple's latest guidelines and really the nuances of SKAN. So our performance marketing team is working with SKAN through these partners. And typically, as long as clients keep the SDKs up to date, right, that should mean they are ready for whatever change is about to come. And what the team does a lot is just working closely with them. If there's a need to like map events or remap events, then we will support them with that. And also just monitoring performance against changes, right? For example, I'm not working directly with SKAN topics because I'm at the retention function, but I've heard from some colleagues that they're already seeing some really promising signals from 4.0 and how much post-install visibility is improving there. So as soon as there's more adoption in the industry, I think it's really exciting to see where we're going here.
Yeah, I think everybody in the industry is really sort of waiting to see how 4.0 adoption comes about and how that affects visibility. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Adapty places great emphasis on the importance of staying adaptable, right? It's part of our name, I guess you could say. But especially in the face of those changes, like SKAN Network Framework, our guidance for clients revolves around that proactive and strategic approach, right? We believe in equipping our clients with the knowledge that they need to navigate those changes confidently. And again, collaboration is key. We work closely with them to ensure they're well prepared through proactive planning. We're also able to smoothen the transition to the SKAN Network Framework, allowing clients to maintain the integrity of their app.
Cool. Roy, I think both Ines and Mike have sort of highlighted the importance of an MMP when it comes to SKAN network. What does that really mean for you in the sense that, you know, what is an MMP's role in working with SKAN?
Yeah, of course. So the biggest role of MMP in the SKAN network ecosystem is to really help advertisers define the conversion values easily and seamlessly just by a few clicks. So it's really impossible for any advertiser to define the conversion value, align it with the major advertising platforms, and actually it's really hard for you to implement the SKAN framework into your application yourself. So what MMP does is the MMP SDK will really help you fully leverage the SKAN network on your application client side. And also at the same time, in the dashboard, you'll be able to define the conversion values. And then eventually when the SKAN postbacks are received, we will be able to show you all the statistics that are related to SKAN. And these are the functions of MMP. And I have to actually agree with Ines's friend, a point that SKAN 4.0 is finally getting rolled out. So it was actually introduced to the market almost like 9 months ago. So it was introduced to us last year's October, but it really took us some time for these advertisers, marketers, and ad networks and all of them together really rolled out the SKAN 4.0. And I'm really excited to see SKAN 4.0 finally getting adopted. But one thing to note here is that it's really obvious that SKAN 3.0 and 4.0 should actually coexist for some time. And the current post-spec share is actually 3.0 accounts for like 60%, 4.0 accounts for the rest of 40%. So although SKAN 4.0's adoption rate will gradually increase over time, I do believe that the compatibility with SKAN 3.0 and 4.0 is necessary up until at least like next year's first or second quarter.
That's a really great point, Roy. I guess it's all an optimization game, right? Until full adoption happens. So we're closing in a little bit on time. So I want to ask one last question to all of you. When it comes to subscription apps, the market is really continuing to grow and more apps are entering the field. So what last pieces of advice do you have for subscription apps that are really trying to beat out multiple competitors to acquire and retain users? Mike, do you want to start us off on this one?
Sure. In the dynamic world of subscription apps where competition is fierce, there are key strategies that stand out, right? First, pinpoint your app's unique value proposition that addresses your users' needs. Leverage the data insights to fine-tune your acquisition tactics and optimize the user experience, which I kind of mentioned in my presentation. And then embrace the trial periods to alleviate those hesitations, right? And post-subscription, foster engagement with that personalized content. So and really kind of focus on these strategies, you can effectively carve your path to acquire and retain users in the bustling market, I guess you could say.
Great. Ines, do you want to follow him up?
Yeah, sure. I definitely agree with all that Mike said. So +1 on that. I would stress again the importance of having a unique selling proposition or a unique offering in your app that differentiates you from your competitors, right? Your app either needs to address a unique user pain point, or it needs to do so more effectively than your competition does. And once you have this in place, I would also say it's key to properly educate users on core features. And I talked a lot about this in my presentation, but really make sure users understand how to get the most value out of your product, because you could have the best, most effective and cheapest solution in the market. But if you fail at educating users about this and making them understand you are the best, you're still going to lose them to your competitors. So yeah, make sure you use all the channels you have available to your advantage to keep your brand top of mind for users. And lastly, I would also say spend a lot of time with your customers, trying to understand what they need and what your app does for them. Why is your app the preferred alternative instead of your competitors? So invest a lot in user research and customer feedback so you can stay ahead of problems and just stay ahead of the competition.
Right. These are all really great tips. Thanks, Ines. Roy, do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, I just totally agree with Ines and Mike's points. And maybe one last piece of comment that I want to share is like definitely it's crucial to keep improving your ad campaign. So never stop optimizing. So you should always try to optimize more and more. And some of the ways that you can explore under SKAN era is definitely like a lot of things, but just like 3 to 4 things, like diversify lookalike audiences. So maybe you can try out a set of custom audiences to create a different set of lookalike audiences, and then try out try out all of them and then find out which one works best for you. Another thing is definitely just maybe leverage more of your first party data. So for example, when you're creating the lookalike audiences, you will be able to use the customer's first name or hashed emails or phone numbers to really increase the matching rate. And I definitely agree with Ines's point back in her presentation. So conducting onboarding surveys and user surveys during their onboarding flow is a great way to understand more about your users and gain deeper insights, which will in turn can help you really focus your budget on the demographics or a certain type of users that actually turns out to be more loyal to your platform. So there are a myriad of other techniques to leverage, but really employing these strategies, you can edge ahead of competitors and realize improved campaign outcomes, and never stop optimizing is certainly the thing that I want to emphasize.
Great. Thank you, Roy. That wraps us up nicely. That really concludes all that we have prepared today. Thank you to Ines, Mike, and Roy, the three of you, for your sessions and for your time and all of your tips and hacks. I hope everybody who came found it useful and informative. To all of those who came and attended, thank you again for your time. You can all find us on LinkedIn, and I believe our emails were also on our slides and on the invites. So please feel free to reach out with any questions or thoughts. We all love to chat. That's why we're here. Yeah, so thank you all for coming, and hopefully we see you at a next webinar.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.